Take 2 of this live stream. Attempt number 2, folks. Attempt number 2.
And let's hope this time it actually worked out.
Yep.
Let's try again.
And somebody don't just left mid-call. How long is this live stream going to be?
About 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Make it a good one.
Yeah, hopefully you don't take
After
off.
this episode's over, I'm gonna have to go to Target again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot to buy something
Oh,
a couple of days ago.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, I forgot to.
Wait, why did you walk, Ian, or did you put it down on the ground or something?
Well, I put it on the ground.
All right, we're good. All right. All right then. What else am I gonna say? So.
You're not gonna put that on.
Well, there's MJ23 right here.
Hello, everyone. What's up?
And the black screen is Bluesnod, as you can't really see.
I want to make it confidential. It's a podcast.
So let's get started, boys.
Oh, right then. So this is the thumbnail right here. The soccer jersey, the soccer hat, and the soccer ball right here. Why I'm showing this is that there's July 8th is gonna be a big day, folks. So, which means that on July 8th, it started the MLS's back tournament, in which the first game features your city, Orlando, and my city of Miami. What are your comments on that?
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
Yes.
I think, first of all, I think MLS purposely put that because they really want to have a rivalry match to begin with. Second of all, can we kind of agree the fact that the draw is a little bit rigged with the way how they did it in the first place? Like,
yeah.
Who in the world, like, they the draw in way as possible.
Oh boy.
So we know that MLS is kindergarten.
Yep. Because who the heck decided to use the ball, right, as Easter eggs and put, like, literally draw the number with a marker on the Easter egg? Like, I could have done a better job in terms of that draw than whatever they did.
Hey, Charlie Davis did.
Yeah, well, screw those analysts. Never a big fan of them.
Wow.
They always seem to talk down on teams like yours.
Well, yeah, but also they clearly have bias towards some teams, and some of those teams include the Seattle Sounders, Atlanta United, Inter Miami, obviously, or any new team that just came to the league. Oh, and let's not forget the LA teams. Oh boy, they talk about the LA team every single day.
Really?
Every single podcast. Yup, they either talk about the Galaxy or LAFC. They also talk about the Red Bulls. And sometimes, no matter which episode it is from their podcast, they have to always mention something about the Galaxy and LAFC, which pissed me off.
There's some biasism with their teams.
Even when the Galaxy are playing a bad team, they still talk about it. Like a game that doesn't even have, like, the meaning of El Tráfico, they still talk about it.
How long do you talk about it, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably about 5 to 10 minutes sometimes. Especially they might even think about spending, like, the whole episode talking about El Tráfico, because the league, right? They almost forgot that the biggest rivalry in MLS is not El Tráfico.
No.
It will forever be the Cascadia Derby, because at least that rivalry has history and actually have tradition. This rivalry is just brand new, and the only reason why it gets so much hype is just because of what happened in the first 4 games.
Good luck, Miami.
Not.
I have no issue with Miami. I respect Miami.
Yeah, you've been there.
Exactly. No issues with Miami at all. Not even one.
Have you ever been to Orlando?
What kind of question is that? Of course I've been to Orlando.
Oh shit! I thought you never been to Orlando.
There, so he has to be.
You're moving there, so that you're gonna be there.
Hello, my family and I have been to Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
But yes, I've been to Orlando. It's amazing. It's pretty good as well.
What was your favorite moment in Miami, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm glad you asked. What was my favorite part about Miami? Going on a school trip with Totten.
Well, funny thing you mentioned time though is like Orlando City is perfect. I think not. Yeah, that match with Miami is how we kick off MLS is back.
Yeah, well, let's just hope that match is not kicking off at 9 in the morning.
I doubt it.
Pacific time. God, imagine if MLS conference match at 6 a.m. in the morning and 9 a.m. Eastern time. That will piss off so many fans.
Oh man. So, what do you call it? So yesterday they did a draw, which we just explained how rigged it is.
Well, I wouldn't say it was totally rigged, but there's definitely some matches that I feel like there's no way in the world you can get so lucky by drawing those matches.
What do you mean by that?
Example, El Tráfico. And also the Ohio Derby, also known as the Hell is Real Derby. The Canadian Classique. All 3 of them was drawn in this.
And the Florida Derby now.
Well, the Florida Derby was not part of the draw. They announced it.
Oh, but still.
Yeah, so also they also put the expansion derby, which we're not going to see because unfortunately your group has 6 teams, and the 2 team you're not going to be playing is Nashville and NYCFC.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, William B.
Well, at least it's actually good the fact that you're not playing NYCFC, but
I'd rather watch more Florida teams play instead of New York teams. To be honest, I've seen a lot of New York games.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't watch them either.
I would rather watch people kick ass in Florida, not just in soccer, but in every other sport: basketball, football, wrestling, and many more.
By the way, I also just realized, right?
Yeah.
In Group A, people sometimes call Group A the shittiest group, the shit show group. You know why that is the case?
Why?
Why is that, Ian?
Because every single team in Group A still have not won a single game.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it: Orlando City, 0 win; Inter Miami, 0 win; Philadelphia Union, yes, they had that crazy free draw, but that wasn't a win. So
nope.
0 win for them.
Nope.
NYCFC, 0 win. They haven't even scored a goal in league play. Nashville, 0 wins. Chicago Fire, 0 wins. So, yeah.
Okay, but you know what? They have a right to call that the shit group because every team stinks in that group.
Yeah, and well, Group D, right? In Group D, and I said that was the group of death, and yet many people think Group F is the group of death just because they have the 2 LA team and Portland. Which
sorry, I think it's Group F as the group of death.
No, you know why it's not the group of death?
Why?
First of all, I really think legitimately LAFC is really the class of that group. The Galaxy, they have looked shaky in the first 2 games. And they lost to the Whitecaps. Who the heck lose to Vancouver? At home, nevertheless.
Oh, man.
You lose to the Whitecaps at home. Nobody does that. Well, to the under LA, except for the under LA team. They also did that last season. They lost to the Whitecaps. The whole team was one of their loss. And the Timbers, we already saw what happened in the first game. They got destroyed by Minnesota. Well, not really destroyed, but they kind of got caught off guard against Minnesota. And then against Nashville, they got so lucky. Nashville does not have a goal scored. Like, if Nashville had a goal scored, they would have lost that one for sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so Portland hasn't looked good either. And Houston, well, they're rebuilding, so there's that. So really, the only good team in that group is LAFC. Whereas in Group D, you have Minnesota, who of course have scored the most goal in the league right now. Wait, actually, I think they did. Yeah, they scored 8 goals so far. You have Sporting KC that also have 6 points. You have Colorado that also have 6 points. And the only team that doesn't have 6 points after the first 2 games from Group D is RSL. But even then, RSL, I know that they're going to find ways to be good because that's what they are. They always find ways to move on into the next round. So that is truly the group of death. And it's unfortunate that one of my favorite teams has to be in it. But then again, it's a good chance to prove that, are we actually for real? Because to be honest, in the first 2 games, yes, Portland was tough, but we beat up Portland like so many times last season. And then, of course, the Quakes. Yeah, obviously, the Quakes decided in a game that I hope they don't shit themselves and actually make it interesting, but they didn't. They decided to lose 5-2.
Oh, man. Can we also blame the VAR system for this, too?
No. The VAR thing, did I told you guys about that match where I was sitting next to a right? He was such a homer to the Quakes, right? He keeps saying the penalty that we gave up in stoppage time was not a penalty, when clearly on the replay it was a penalty, and he keeps saying it like every time I talk to him. Like sometimes, and even when we were down 5-2, he keeps saying it for free, but guess what? We would have still lost either way. So why the heck are you still so obsessed with that PK missed call? That wasn't even a missed call. It was actually the right call. So.
Oh man! Should we announce the groups and the teams?
If you want to.
All right. So let's see here. So there's about 6 groups. 3 of them each are the East and the West. And I'm going to start off with. So I'm going to do the East Coast. Ian, you can do the West Coast.
You mean the Eastern Conference? We don't call it the East Coast.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, Nashville is not in the East Coast.
Here it
Or
is.
the Chicago.
Yeah. Well. Okay. All right. Fine. Makes you feel better. I'll say it. I'll say it in a realistic way. Eastern Conference, and you can do the Western Conference. Is that better?
Okay, good. Because if we have any fans watching this, right, and they're a fan of one of those Midwest teams, they're going to be so offended when you say they're in the East Coast.
Okay. Well, my bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So Group A features 6 teams. The shit group features MJ23's team, Orlando.
Love me, Florida, man.
That's all I have to say is, I love me, Florida, man. And
What? Florida is a weird state.
I can't lie to you, but I despise New York.
no, I don't blame you. I despise it here too.
But at least New York is the reason we're all friends. Am I right?
Yeah. This place didn't really brought much joy as it used to.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got Orlando City into Miami. They're going to start off the whole tournament. Then NYCFC, where we live, except for Bluesnod. Then there's Philadelphia, Chicago, and Nashville, another expansion team.
Are these the teams you're naming, James?
Yeah, these are the teams that I'm naming.
Yeah, they're in Group A.
They're all 6 of them are in Group A. Group A is the only group that's like features 6 teams, and every other group is 4 teams.
Group B.
Group B will be Bluesnod's honor.
Okay.
Also known as the easiest group.
I got
6, depending on if you. So Group B, we have the Seattle Sounders, FC Dallas, the Vancouver Whitecaps, and of course, the San Jose Earthquakes, which I have low expectation coming into this tournament.
Hopefully they do well somewhat against the Whitecaps and the Dallas FC
Well,
Dallas.
You know what's the problem the Quakes are going to be having?
Oh, because they're going to be in East Coast at the time.
No, not just that.
The weather.
Well, not just that.
What's up?
They were the last team to trade, so they're going to be so rusty. They're going to have a huge disadvantage in terms of that. And you know, if that is going to be the case, if the Quakes are going to get knocked out of this tournament, I will partially blame on the team, but I'll also partially blame on the Santa Clara County official by deciding to not let the Quakes train after every single team has. But our county hates our teams.
Man, your team has not gained the best of luck throughout the years.
Ouch. That's got to suck, bro.
That does got to suck.
Yeah, you can blame the county. I bet the county don't even know who is the San Jose Earthquakes.
the forgotten team.
Yeah, all they care about is the Sharks. And even then, the Sharks, right? They care about them, but guess what? When they're not in the playoffs, they don't even care about them. They only care when they're in the playoffs, only to see them choke.
Oh man, I feel bad.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I mean, it could be worse.
Could have been a whole lot worse. You know, the Warriors. Well, it's in Oakland, but the Warriors could have lost all the NBA finals.
Well,
the Golden State Warriors. That's kind of a team I do despise.
And the Giants would have lost all 3 World Series, but
you know, it could be also worse the fact that you could be like the Quakes that haven't made the playoffs. They made the playoffs in 2017, but let's just put a big asterisk in terms of that one because they got super lucky to get into it, and then they got absolutely.
I know a team that had that long or longer.
Orlando City.
Orlando.
Hate to bring it up, but hey, you know, you could finally end your playoff drought if you actually move on from Group A. We're gonna count this as you guys have made it to the playoffs.
Hopefully. Anyway, Group C. I should point out Group C. That features Toronto, which is the MLS finalists for 2019.
The Eastern Conference.
Yeah. And that group features the teams like New England, Montreal, not a big surprise because it has to be a Canadian derby. And the one team that I never knew, the one team that I hope that did not go in the group, but it did, and that's DC United.
Well, all I'll say is that group is a very underrated group. It's a very underrated group.
And it's weird, and it's strange too. Although that's expected too.
It's a very interesting group because you have some legendary coaches in that group, and then you also have some good players in that group. It's a very underrated group. So where we are we at to Group D?
Group D, yeah.
Also known as the Group of Death.
Wow!
I mean, it is true. When you have 3 of the 4 teams in that group that has maximum points, right? That group basically have 18 points. Or actually, no, not 18, 19 points combined.
Okay.
So, it is the Group of Death.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's 20 points because I don't think RSL have lost yet. So that's the unbeaten group.
Oh man, that group's gonna be really. That's gonna be an interesting group. I'd like to see.
But you know what's also interesting about that group is it's geographically correct, that group.
Like how exactly?
Big
Like
West.
you have two teams in the mountain region. You have two teams in kind of like the western part of Midwest. Correct. Like if they didn't do a draw, right? You would be on regions. But in that group we have Colorado. Rapids, Real Salt Lake.
They're the mountain. They are the mountainous group.
And then you have what was the last? Yeah, I don't want to say Sporting KC fans, but forgetting to say their name. Especially one of my loyal subscribers from my channel is a Sporting KC fan.
I know a good friend of mine that lives in Kansas City.
Oh.
Joseph. Which, by the way, the same team that won the Super Bowl, your team, Bluesnod.
Well, it's not really my team, but if you say it out loud in front of the public here in SF, people are going to hunt you down.
Oh well.
They don't want to hear it. They definitely don't want to hear what happened in the Super Bowl.
Okay, let's not. All right, then we won't mention it.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you cannot mention anybody, MJ23, because you're actually going.
Okay, let's not. All right, then we won't mention it.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you cannot mention anybody, MJ23, because you're actually going to San Francisco.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah.
I'm always from California as well.
Well, here's the thing, right? California is like New York City. It's a great place.
But better.
Well, it's a great place to visit, but it's a shit place to live. Because it's the rent is super high. You got homeless problems.
Oh.
And you also have to deal with tons of taxes.
Oh gosh. That's gotta suck, man.
So yeah, it's basically our version of New York. Except it's kind of like if you want to say it in a way that is a little bit nicer, at least the weather is good here. That's the only thing that is different between New York and California. If California is like New York where it's cold and it snows all the time and there's rain, there's nothing that is different between New York and California. It's the same.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Where are we? Group E?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what Group E has.
Okay, I know. Because one of those teams are actually our local teams. Well, actually, I don't know if it's our local teams considering they play in New Jersey, but we'll talk about those teams anyway because that is also the team that whooped their Quakes asses in March 16th, 2019.
Let me guess. That team is named after an energy drink.
Yeah, an energy drink.
Yep.
Anyway.
I'm gonna call them Energy Drink FC. Hey, they're literally named after an energy drink, and they play in a stadium that is named after an energy drink.
Anyway, and that team they're referring to is the New York Red Bull. So they play in New Jersey, which I'm sure all of you already know that. So if those who don't live under the rock, yes, they play in New Jersey, not New York City, just like the Jets and the Giants. But anyway, that's one team in Group E. The leader of Group E is Atlanta United, which that's the team that he despises. I know a family that lives in Atlanta, so they like the team.
I hate Atlanta United. As a Quakes and Minnesota fan, I hate Atlanta because for the Quakes, they screw us over in that game, which I hate. I still hate from this day. And then as a Minnesota fan, there are fellow expansion buddies. And also, they beat us in the U.S. Open Cup final.
Oh, man. Anyway.
So we had a chance for our first ever trophy in franchise history, and we blew it.
How?
Well, the U.S. Open Cup final, there's a trophy on the line. So we could have won it. We would have beat Atlanta, but we didn't.
And who's we? The Quakes or the Minnesota?
The Loons.
Oh, Minnesota.
Yeah,
Okay.
Playing the U.S. Open. They played the U.S. Open Cup final last year. I was actually thinking about going to it, but the problem is it was on a Wednesday.
School day.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other two teams that in Group E are actually both teams in a state called Ohio, and that's FC Cincinnati and Columbus Crew.
Oh, FC Cincinnati fans are going to be angry about this group.
Mm.
You know why they're going to be angry about this group?
Because that team's probably the worst of all the three.
No, it's because two of the three teams in this group they already played this season, and they lost to both of them.
Oh man!
The Red Bulls in the first game 3-2. They lost to Atlanta literally before this whole pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be angry the fact that they have to play the same team all over again.
Talk about unlucky.
Yeah, they're going to and then of course they have to play against Columbus, who Columbus don't want to have to hear from Cincinnati fans that this might be the first time they would win this derby.
I'm pretty sure they do not want that to happen.
Oh yeah. Also, I want to also add the fact that besides the fact that the Red Bulls are called Energy Drink FC, they're also known as the San Jose Sharks of the MLS. Because like the Sharks, who won President's Cup before, they won Supporters Shield. And like the Sharks, they've been to one final and lost that. And also, most importantly, like the Sharks, what is the difference? What is one thing that you can think of that the Red Bulls and Sharks don't have in their cabinet?
The trophy.
Yep, no cups.
No cups.
You mean they haven't won anything at all?
Well, the Red Bulls have won Supporters Shield, if you want to count that as a trophy. But in terms of just like titles, like MLS Cup and Stanley Cups, right? Both of these teams have won it. And it's also ironic the fact that both of these teams came right around the same time. Sharks, 1992, Red Bulls, 1996. Although it wasn't called the Red Bulls back then, it was called the Metro Stars. And I'm going to just say it, and this might offend a lot of Red Bulls fans that's watching this, but guess what? That's so Metro. That's going to trigger a lot of Red Bulls fans.
One thing they could brag is that they at least went to the MLS Cup faster than the Sharks did.
Well, yeah, that's true. And they can also brag the fact that they won more trophy than the Sharks. They want to count the Supporters Shield as a trophy. But my argument to them is that at least the Sharks been to the playoffs more often than the Red Bulls.
That's true.
Yep.
Anyway, Group F, the last group.
Oh, the so-called group of death.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by so-called group of death?
That's what everybody thinks it's the group of death.
Yeah, what do you mean by that, Bluesnod? I just want to know.
It means that this is the toughest group.
But you said it was so-called.
Yeah, because I don't think it's the group of death.
Okay,
I explained it earlier why I don't think this is the group of death. So here's the thing about group.
F.
Group F, yes, Group F. So Group F, you have the two LA teams. You got LAFC, also known as formerly Chivas. You have LA Galaxy, also known as Carson Galaxy. You have the Houston Dynamo, also known as the team that stole the two MLS Cup from the Quakes. Yep, I'm going to say it. I'm still pissed off about that.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed are you about that, Bluesnod?
Well, actually, I'm not as pissed about that because I wasn't really a fan back then. But if you ask any older Quakes fan that support this team ever since they came into the league, yeah, they're pretty pissed off about that.
Ouch.
We should be 4-time MLS Cup champion, not 2-time. Like the team that the Dynamo has back in 06 and 07 when they moved to there was literally the same team from the 05 season that the Quakes had. Yeah, it was the same team, same manager, same staff. The only difference is they moved to Houston. It's kind of like if you're moving to a new location, right? Like let's say you're going to Orlando and you bring everything to Orlando, right?
Right.
That's basically what this is.
Okay, that's understandable.
So that's why Quakes fans are pissed off, because that was our team. You took everything. You literally took pretty much
Everything.
Yeah, you took everything and you basically just renamed it, and then you won a championship to just add salt to the wounds.
Damn, that's nuts.
Yeah, well, but keep in mind, this was back in the era of MLS when moving teams is not something that was seen as a big deal.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, but yeah, you got the Houston Dynamo, the team that stole the 2 MLS Cup from the Quakes, and then you got the Portland Timbers, who of course knocked us out of the playoffs last year. And yes, I know that game wasn't really a playoff game between us and the Timbers on decision day, but it was, because whoever loses that one is not going to make the playoffs, and whoever wins moves on. So might as well call that a playoff game.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I would also call that's the salty group, because there's a team that I despise.
Which team is that? Bluesnod?
Well, obviously you got the LA teams, which one doesn't even play in LA. They play in a city called Carson. And the other one is basically is a team that was formed after Chivas was defunded, and they basically have almost the same fans, plus a couple of Carson Galaxy trader, and also I can confirm today, right, that their leader of their supporter group 3252, right,
On.
He's a Quakes fan. He's a former Quakes fan, and he jumped the ship.
To where?
To guess where? LAFC.
Oh gosh.
LAFC even more now.
Oh god.
Like, really? You literally support the Quakes a couple years ago, and you jumped ship just because you want to support this shiny new toy. Talk about bandwagoning and glory hunting. Typical glory hunting, which is why the 3252 just, I used to like them because of the fact that they're one of the best supporter fans, but after what I saw they lost all the respect for me. Like, talk about being fake. Your leader is literally a former Quakes fan, and you basically decide to switch sides.
Wow.
Yep. That's like saying if I'm not sure if this is a good example, but a lifelong Red Bulls fan, right, would literally now decide to join the NYCFC supporter group, and now he's the leader of that group. So yeah, that is some big time bandwagoning there. And also, if he decided to join back the Quakes, right, we are not going to be welcoming him back.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. I can't believe it. Like, and he was actually part of the draw too. Like, he was part of the draw. That is the reason why we found out that he was actually formerly a Quakes fan, because people like Quakes fans kind of saw this guy and like, I think I remember who this guy is, but I'm not quite sure if that actually is true. So they search his Instagram account to see if that is the case, and Lord and behold, yes, it was who they think who he is. He is actually a person that he even posted that I will support black and or black and blue forever.
I wish he did. I wish he doesn't.
So much for that.
Yeah.
Immediately just become a traitor and decided to join the enemy.
Talk about hypocrisy.
Well, it's not just hypocrisy. It's called glory hunting and being a fake fan.
I call that, wow, that's pretty mean.
Yeah, that's a huge stab in the back.
I call that a traitor, man.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, the worst thing about this is that he basically become the leader of the supporter group, right? If you're a very loyal supporter to your team, but you basically decided to betray the other team to join as the leader.
Man, that's very, very cruel.
Yeah, that is as cruel as it gets.
Why would someone do that, though?
Because it's the shiny new toy. And they probably got addicted to the shiny new toy.
Amateurs.
Hey, Bluesnod.
Yeah.
I got a comment from James Fernando that we were talking about an enemy backstabbing. He asked the question, wait, MJ23 is the enemy?
No. I'm talking about, so if you actually search, if you actually go on, I think it's posted on the Quakes Reddit page, you will see there that say that I support black and blue forever. I support the Quakes forever.
Yeah.
And then literally yesterday, he basically showed up in LAFC gear with LAFC background, which I bet he basically tore up all the Quakes fan gear and then basically put LAFC in the back. And then he also said that he's the leader of 3252.
Oh my goodness.
Like that is you talk about backstabbing at its peak. Well, that's as bad as one of our legendary player, Chris Wondolowski, also decided to join LAFC or the Galaxy.
Oh man, imagine.
Which won't ever happen.
No.
Well, but it will also. It's kind of something similar to what happened to Landon Donovan. He used to be a Quakes player, and then he decided to backstab us and join the Galaxy. This is basically something similar to that.
There's
what a traitor move that is.
There's one more team we have not mentioned in Group F.
Yeah, well, I did mention it. The Portland Timbers.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Yeah, so, I mean, I mentioned we got LAFC, also known as formerly Chivas. We got LA Galaxy, also known as Carson Galaxy. They play in Carson, and it's impossible to get to that stadium if you don't drive there. And then you have the Houston Dynamo, also known as the team that stole 2 MLS Cup from the Quakes. And then you have the Portland Timbers, who theoretically knocked us out of playoffs last year.
James Fernando just said, "Yo, James, I hope baseball comes back." And I'm going to say, me too, if the owner and the commissioner are not dumbasses.
Well, let's just hope that, you know, for baseball, the sports already is on a decline.
Yeah, that's true.
And the last thing they need right now is to not have a season.
Or a lockout.
Or a lockout. Like, if there's a lockout that's going to happen, right, baseball is going to be overtaken by MLS.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, I agree, no doubt.
But it's been coming. You know, people have been complaining about the fact that the reason we hate baseball so much is that it's such a slow-paced game.
I have to agree with Bluesnod.
No, I know.
Baseball, I mean, it is a fun sport, but not that much.
The average age of baseball is 57 years old, I heard.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the other thing about baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could literally go to the bathroom in the middle of the inning, right, and get a snack from the concession stand, and I guarantee you most of the time you won't miss anything. At best, you probably might miss somebody hit a ground ball or get a hit, and that's it. There's barely anything happens.
We tried going to a baseball game before the whole thing started. Postponed because of weather.
Yeah, well, that sucked.
Yeah, it did suck.
That's the one thing that's also a big problem with baseball. They can't play in the rain.
Yeah, that's why I'd rather just go to like basketball games and football games. I can't do baseball
or soccer games.
Soccer
game. The only way that soccer game gets postponed, right?
Because of the rain.
No.
Lightning.
Lightning.
Oh, I mean thunderstorms. Yeah, you're right. Damn.
Yeah, lightning is the only way, or the other reason they might postpone or delay the game is that if the field is too wet. Like start to rain too hard where it's virtually impossible to kick the ball.
Okay, that's a good point. That's
good. Which, believe it or not, I think a couple of years ago I went to a high school soccer game. And I was actually watching my old school play soccer. And it was pouring in rain, right? And it was
like
also
just raining or raining badly, right?
It was raining badly. Like it was pouring rain. It was very windy. Like when I see like them kick the ball in the air, the ball doesn't even travel. It just goes back.
Rain?
Yeah, pretty much. It just goes backwards, like the ball whenever the ball is in the air. And I was wondering, how in the world are they not either delaying or postponing this game? Like it was a shit show.
Damn, that has to suck, Bluesnod.
Yeah. And what's funny is there was 2 goals that was scored in that game. I don't know how in the world were there going to be 2 goals that was scored in that game. Yeah, I was drenched in rain because there was virtually no shelter in there or whatever.
Shelter at all? Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, so I was literally drenched in rain.
Fernando said some baseball stadiums have played in the rain. Here's why they probably play in the rain, right? It's not just because it rains that stops the game. It's the lightning that stops. And if it's drizzling, you can still play baseball. And not to mention, some of those stadiums actually have domes.
Yeah, and some of the stadiums also have like have turf that actually drench the water away.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of baseball, I think it was today. They did another proposal.
What would that be?
About 70 to 75 games with 80 to 85% salary pay. You know, that's like ordering things on Amazon every day and get stuff and get the result every day. It's stupid.
This baseball is it's such a mess right now.
In all my years of watching baseball, MLB is probably in its worst shape it's ever been in forever.
You know, it's so bad right now that I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really wish Bud Selig was back. Like, I remember when people say Bud Selig was one of the worst baseball commissioner ever, right? And he messed up the game. This dumbass called Rob Manfred, who I swear, he and DeBasio are probably the worst leader possible. Like, if you actually, I would even go as far as say maybe DeBasio is even much better than what Manfred is doing.
The commissioner of MLB needs to step down. I agree. Yeah, so is Roger Goodell.
Like he's talking about so much BS. Like he keeps saying, "Oh, I want to improve the pace of the game."
But how but you say that, but how is it happening? It's not happening.
And you keep saying, "Well, we're going to have a pitch clock that is going to happen," and it never happened.
Nope, never happened.
And let's also not forget that he literally botched the Astros
yeah, that's the down. That's when the Astros became the MLB's downfall.
Yep. He actually didn't even do anything. He didn't even like put harsh punishment on the Astros, except they lose like a first round draft pick. Like the punishment was not harsh enough. And he completely I think he also manipulated the investigation to make it sound as not outrageous as what the Astros have done. So that's one of the many reasons why he needs to step down.
You know what he could have done? Fernando's right too. He could have taken that World Series trophy too.
Well, he could. He could have also done that. He could have also, he could have also maybe give it to the team that finished second. Although the problem with that is that people are going to be angry about that, since you can't give it to the team that finished second and lost the World Series. Like, you can't give it to a team that literally lost the World Series and they still earned the trophy. And obviously, as Giants fan, I hope I won't see that, because that means the Dodgers are going to get that World Series trophy. And they don't deserve it. They didn't win it. Yes, they got cheated, okay? I understand it. I know Dodgers fans are salty about it. But guess what? It is what it is. You still didn't win it.
So does the Yankees.
Yeah.
He could have cut the Astros salary cap. They could have done that too.
Yeah, well, no, we won't go as that far, but they got to strip salary cap. They got to impose heavy fine on them, take draft pick away, because this is ridiculous the way that it was handled.
It's awful. Not only that the Dodgers got cheated, the Yankees definitely got cheated.
Yeah, because of and you got cheated both ways too.
Twice too.
The Astros and the Red Sox.
Yeah, the Red Sox too.
Yeah, so well, let's just hope baseball does come back. But I won't be surprised if attendance is going to continue to go down in baseball. Like it's a dying sport.
I hope it's not gonna. I hope the sport cannot. I hope the sport doesn't die. But they really need to get their head out of their asses and actually take action to not only fix the game, but to discipline teams that does such a tragedy like sign stealing. Yeah. I mean, if they can do that, then the audience can improve. Fines don't do shit. These players get paid over millions, not billions, dollars a year.
Yeah, seriously, baseball players, like they keep bickering about the fact that they're not getting paid. So
it's all about the money.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You are basically paying millions just to basically hit a ball on a bat.
Wait, the baseball players are whining about not getting paid? Wow.
Do you know that baseball is one of the only sports that you can literally be out of shape and you can still play it? It's not it's not a joke. You can literally be out of shape and you can still
out of shape from baseball? That sucks.
No, you can literally, like, James could, like, no offense, James, but you could literally play baseball right now.
I play baseball and I'm a little offended, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could, like, baseball is one of those sports, right, where you don't really need to run a lot and you don't need to have, like, stamina a lot, unless if you're a pitcher, then yeah, you do need that because you need to throw the ball. But if you're like an outfielder, right, or a catcher, or even a first baseman, anything besides a fielder, you can literally just play baseball, even if you're not in shape. Because the only running you get to do is basically run to the base. That's it.
Barry Bonds was out of shape and he played it, and I can also compare that with Prince Fielder.
I mean, you cannot do this in other sports. You cannot do it in basketball because there's a lot of running involved in basketball.
Yeah.
Well, you can do it with football. I had to check your argument there.
Football,
You could be a
football
lineman.
definitely has
You could be a defensive lineman or offensive lineman in football.
Yeah, you could do that.
Like I tell you from experience, I did that. I went to football practice. I didn't make it.
Yeah, you can be a lineman.
But
besides that,
that's it.
the only position you can play. What else? Yeah, you definitely cannot do that in soccer. You need to run.
Or hockey. It's so hard in hockey.
Oh, it's incredibly hard in hockey. Like people keep saying, hockey. It's not like it's a sport that anybody can play. Really?
What? I disagree.
How about you try to play? How about you try to get your skates on and let's see how it feels when you get slammed into the wall.
It takes a while to learn how to play hockey, especially on ice. It's a pain in the ass.
Right.
Well, hockey is probably one of the most physical sports.
It does sound physical, man.
Yeah. I always thought it's rugby that's really physical, but hockey definitely is really physical.
Oh, imagine you getting slammed into the wall and get body checked.
Mm.
Yeah, that really hurts, especially when you're a hockey player.
I mean, I know NHL is trying to reduce that, but obviously, even if they reduce that, players are still going to do it because it is what it is. And keep in mind, maybe about 20 years ago, before NHL decided to be like football, which is started to make things less physical and not really even look like football anymore. You can literally slam somebody, penalty for it.
Meanwhile, a little push or shove and sticking can get you a penalty.
Yeah, if you high stick it.
High stick it. High sticking is one thing. A little push, yeah, no.
Yeah, it's the same thing in football, right? In football, right? If you decide to hit the quarterback so hard, you get a roughing the passer.
It's so dumb. And there's roughing the passers even when the quarterback still has the ball in their hands.
Oh, and also let's not forget the pass interference.
Oh my God! That no call changed a lot in NFL nowadays.
But it also made things worse because now coaches can challenge pass interference.
And 80% of the time they never overturn it.
Yeah, well,
exactly. Like you challenge the pass interference call and you see it and it's obvious and you still don't change the call. And then what's the point of it? And November and now until November, like now you decided to change it when by the way it's a shit call. Like you like they would change pass interferences when there's slight contact or no contact at all. Meanwhile, they don't say pass interference when there's major contact. Like what? In upcoming episodes of MeurerTV show, we definitely would talk about the NFL and how the game is like so messed up. To me, baseball is not a dying sport because I grew up watching baseball, and sometimes we need to make some changes. And I'm not saying it's not good way to solve the criteria, but that's how sports are now.
Well, it's about the money nowadays.
Yeah.
Ouch. I mean, 20 years ago, it wasn't about the money. It was about actually playing. But the thing about baseball, right, is that they're not – the other reason why people say it's a dying sport is that they're not targeting on the right demographics. And this is something I know NASCAR had some issue of this, and now they're paying the price by doing this a couple of years back. But baseball, right, they're not targeting – all they do is just targeting on the older generation. Well, it's great that they are targeting on the older generation, but guess what? Those older generation, they're gonna be gone in about 20 years or so. And then what? Like there's gonna be no fans if they don't target like the right people, like my age, right? They don't target my age demographics. Nobody's going to go to the games.
It's so dumb the way how baseball's handling it.
That's why I don't watch. That's why I don't feel like we should not go to any baseball games.
I mean, I can still go to baseball games. I don't think we should go to MLB games for a while.
Well, I see. I kind of also stopped going to so many baseball games. I remember a couple of years back, I went to like at least 20 baseball games. But last year, I only went like 5.
I heard Rob is changing the playoff bracket in 2022.
I don't know if it's going to be.
Really, and that's the first I'm hearing about it.
Well, I don't know if he's going to change the format, right?
Yeah.
Is he going to try to fix the whole wild card game bullshit? Like seriously, the wild card game, right? I feel like they need to make it at least a best of 3 or a best of 5. Like, why in the world did they make it a one game playing game? Like this, I feel like they need to make it a best of 3 because in that playing game, let's just say that if your best pitcher doesn't have his best stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or if something happened, right, to your squad, or you get an injury, right, then you're screwed pretty much for that game.
Make the wild card game 2 out of 3. That should be right.
They got to do it at least.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I mean, imagine, right? You basically won the wild card spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
You worked so hard to win that spot, and unfortunately, you had to belong in one of the best division, and you maybe like win 100 games, right? And you get that one game wild card bullshit, right?
One game could end your season.
And then you're playing maybe like an 85 or 90 win teams, and you lost to them.
Yeah.
You basically have won 101 games or 100 plus game, and you lose that game because maybe they had a good run, or that game wasn't just meant to be in your case. Then you're screwed pretty much.
It's so bullshit.
Your season is over. Like after probably a World Series kind of caliber season, right? And you got knocked out in the wild card game, which virtually is just a playing game for the playoffs. It's stupid.
It's so dumb.
Like imagine in the NBA, right?
That's our next
rule,
topic.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine in the NBA they have the same rule where you get a 1-game playoff. That would be stupid.
Speaking of the NBA, they actually announced a target date a few days ago, July 31st. Now I'm hearing that it could be July 30th. That could be a target as a target date. Which one of these episodes I'll have another friend of mine on the chat where we can talk about the NBA.
Yeah, the one league that people start to enjoy it, and also the one league people keep saying that it's a rigged league. The league is rigged.
NBA, right?
Yeah. Imagine when the Warriors won all those championships and they play the Cavs. Everybody keeps saying it was rigged. It was rigged. And the only reason why the Warriors did not sweep the Cavs, right, a couple of years back, is because the NBA purposely made the Warriors lose a game so that they can have more money. Wow.
That's what it seems like. Make it the way how like they lose these games so that more games come and more people pay for the tickets. Oh man. To me, if that's the case, then it's a scam.
That sounds like a scam to me.
But I don't think it's a scam as what the NFL did. NFL was doing years ago. before this whole thing. Did you know that there's a secret plan for the NFL to make money, right? I think it's the dirtiest scam that you could do. So you know how you talk about ratings and ticket sales?
Yeah.
The one word I'll say that will defy scam. Preseason.
Oh yeah, preseason. That's the money making.
To me, preseason is the biggest scam that you could do in the NFL.
Yeah, they charge people expensive tickets to watch bunch of warmers.
It's so freaking dumb. If you're gonna charge people, make it cheap, like $3 or at least $10. Not like
that's why no one attends preseason games, because what's the point watching a bunch of college level kids playing football when they're not even going to make the team?
Right.
And we're still getting paid. Have to pay like $100 to watch it.
It's so dumb.
Are you kidding me?
It's so dumb. Like, if you're gonna make us pay $100, at least do it where it's a rivalry game.
Or don't actually do it in the first place. Make it cheaper.
Yes. Like, why you gotta be so greedy?
Yo, who the hell is this?
Oh, it's Sierra. Another preseason doesn't mean shit if you're selling tickets up to at least $500, right?
Yo, jeez, where you at?
I'm live streaming, by the way.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
That's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's our old friends.
Hello.
Anyway. Anyway, what else? What else, Jordan?
I'll catch you later, bro.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah, me either. Oh my gosh, that's a botch of the episode.
Is that a wrap?
No, it's fine.
This is a good episode.
It is.
Well, I can't wait until actual sports is happening.
Yeah.
This episode, because then that's when we basically can talk about real sports instead of getting angry about this whole format stuff.
Right. We could be salty. We could be anything.
We can complain about how VAR suck in MLS.
JD going to California. Bye.
Fuck you, Fernando.
He said F you, Fernando. James, what are you going to do about that?
Go to California?
Yeah.
I'm going next month.
Well, if you're going to go, right? And if you're going to go to SF, right? Don't go to City Hall.
You also told me not to go to Pier 39.
Oh, well, you could go there, but guess what's happening right now?
I don't want to know.
It's closed.
Oh,
It's
man.
not even open. So there's no point going there.
That's why I said I don't want to know, but you told me anyway.
Yeah, but it's closed. It's
Come on.
closed. Even if you would have gone, right? Even if you didn't take my advice, you will find the hard way that it actually isn't even open.
I guess we can conclude it here, right?
Yeah, most likely. I need to go to Target soon.
All right. Well, Bluesnod will do his own thing.
Oh, one more thing, right? Before
Right.
we leave, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about one more thing before we leave.
Sure.
What's that?
So, you know all these European league that is coming back, right?
Yeah. Just now I was watching the La Liga.
Yeah. We haven't kind of talked about that yet in this episode.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So, these European League that is coming back, what do you actually think of it, James? Do you like the idea of the fact that they're pumping in fake fan noise while they're playing an empty stadium?
Well, to me, it doesn't really bother me. I'm just watching the game.
I mean, I'm not really a big fan of it because it feels like if they're gonna do it, right? Like, I feel like if they're gonna do it in a way where it's not so bad. Like some of these broadcasts where they pump in fake noise, they do it that if by the home team there was no cheering going on. Like, well, that makes no sense. That's not how it works. And the other thing about these European League is that some of these games are not even that good. Like, and some of these big derbies, right? It's not even intensive. It's not very intense because there's no fans in the stands. Players don't want to fight each other because they're worried about getting the virus. It's just there's not really much.
Oh, brother, here we go again.
Oh, what happened?
This virus is really a pain in my ass. I'm gonna. That's now. Ever since this virus came into our lives, now I'm starting to hate New York more.
Well, it sucks the fact that the virus, the epicenter, has to be in New York.
Damn you.
But yeah, I think we can conclude it here. Pretty much.
I agree.
You said you walking around a place like Snug Harbor. It's I'll tell you more about it privately, Fernando. I will conclude with one more thing though, that a Premier League is coming back on Wednesday, June 17th.
Oh, my parents go to California that day, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Lucky bastards.
I'm surprised you still think about going to California even during this pandemic.
Well, originally I was supposed to go to Puerto Rico, but that never happened. Oh well.
I should also point out that not just the major sports teams, major sports leagues in America are coming back, like NBA July 31st, MLS July 8th, NFL on schedule, NHL no word yet, baseball up their asses. There's also the underrated sport known as lacrosse, also coming back July 25th, which nobody cares about really. Also one sport that is returning, actually, if it really counts, tomorrow, 3:30 or 3:00 a.m. my time, and that's Super Rugby. That's out of New Zealand, 12 o'clock California time.
In New Zealand.
Yep, rugby is back. If you like rugby, go watch rugby. My home sport is cricket. I'd like to know more about cricket, Fernando. I'm interested.
Cricket.
Yep.
I like cricket. I've watched cricket before.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, we have a cricket league that I tried wanting to go. I could not do it because it feels like the game is so long.
Well, that's the whole point of it. I mean, the thing about cricket, it is the longest game, or the longest one,
Mm-hmm.
and it's similar to baseball, right?
Yeah.
In fact, baseball, they took a lot of ideas from cricket and just modified it.
Oh, there you go. And college sports, we don't know much about college sports yet, but I heard they're doing a 6-week plan to get training, and then hopefully football games will be played in the fall for college. But other than that, we concluded here with MeurerTV show episode 1. Oh, yo, Brandon, what's up? You probably just missed it.
I actually feel proud of being online.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah, we need to do this more often.
We'll do it every week.
Fine with me.
Every week on Friday. All right.
That's our routine from now on.
Sweet. Absolutely. Friday, 5:00 p.m. ish.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, 5:00 p.m. All right, so 5:00 every week, Friday. It's usually the same time as the other podcast, known as James Williams Show. Brandon, you just missed it. We're just wrapping up. Anyway, yeah, tune in every week, 5:00 Eastern Time, 2:00 Pacific. And yeah, folks, that is it. If you like this live stream, if you like what we do, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button. I wish I was on a live chat instead of messing, or you mean missing. This is MeurerTV. That's MJ23, and the black screen is Bluesnod.
What's up, guys? I'm sorry, man.
Anyway, that will conclude episode 1. All right.
Yes. Stay safe, guys.
Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Stay safe.
You too.
This is